How's it going, everybody? Got my first guest in today, besides Kenzie. I guess first guest that isn't somebody that lives in the same house as me. But we're going to be doing one. We talked about him a little bit in the last podcast. I was hoping to get all three boys on at once. I may have to do one here, one there, maybe get them in at some point. I'm sure they'll do more than one, but I got Ben Schrodt in today. He's we hunt their family property for geese, turkeys, bears. We leave it to them to kill all the deer around there. So we're going to give you a couple deer hunting stories, and his bear we kind of talked about in the last episode with Kenzie's. Just how size doesn't equate to how old or mature a bear would be, and the misconception with that on size and stuff. But to get into it, we're going to have Ben introduce himself a little bit, give him his age. You know, he ain't got to tell you exactly where he lives because we're not giving out addresses or nothing. But how's it going, Ben? How are you today?
I'm good. School's over and everything, but I'm 14, and that's...
He's been hunting a long time. He's been hunting with his dad and his family. I've been around him. Like I said, I think his brother's graduating this year, and his mom made a status, and we were kind of talking back and forth. And I've got videos of these guys chasing geese with us when they were, how Luke was 11 when he went with us the first time. Joe was even younger than that when he tagged along out behind their house. And Ben's been going with us, the same age, probably 9, 10, 11 years old, sitting out there in the layouts with us and hunting, seeing everything going down, taking them. I had every one of them boys for every year of the youth turkey season up here in New York. Luke was all the way from 11 to 16, 15, 16. He was my hardest kid. I think he had more fuck-ups and more screw-ups throughout his youth turkey season than anybody. Joe was the miracle child. I don't think he went 1 year without success. I think he had a pretty good season every year we went. We killed you one with Joe. You guys got to double up. That was a fun one. That's a video. That was your first year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first youth season. They doubled up on some jakes on their property at their house. You killed two? Because you killed one with...
Yeah, I killed two. I killed one with Colton.
That next year. I was sicker than a dog when we went out that year. And then it was miserable. It was nasty, rainy. The day before you hunted with Owen and JT and a coyote come out, wasn't it? Or was it they busted out or something?
No, there was like 100 turkeys in front of us that day.
They just out of range.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, yeah, we've been taking these boys out year in, year out, and there are some good hunters, good stewards of the land. It's like anything else up here. Everyone's hunted since they were little kids, between their grandfathers, their fathers, their uncles, and whoever they hunted with. I feel like I'm the only one in the area other than the gentleman that just passed away that goose hunted. And then duck hunting has just recently become, I wouldn't say popular because it's not that good of duck hunting up here, but Ben got into it this year with us. He's got a wood duck at the taxidermist that should be done, I would think, anytime soon.
Yeah.
I know when I messaged her the first time, because I kind of expected it to be done by now, she said they were having trouble getting the forms. But she does it just out of her garage, so hopefully it's done soon. It'd be cool to see it get back and get it up on the wall and see how it looks. I know my buddy's used her a couple times, and she does some really good work. He's done a mallard through her. My brother-in-law did a teal and a goose, I think, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, we're going to get into some stories, have them talk about the bear we talked about last year. Maybe get into that first, because these kids never cease to amaze me with the pictures I get from them. I'll throw it up here on the screen for the people that are watching. He got home. He's in his full-fledged, was it soccer?
Yeah, soccer.
Soccer, warm-up coat, warm-up pants. I thought it was later in the season now thinking about it. It was soccer. It was early. Mm-hmm. Kenzie and I hadn't been seeing anything anyways, but you got home. You tell the story. You got home?
Yeah, I got home, and I was like, oh, I'm just going to go out. I got time and walked out there, sat until dark, and walked my way out. Just a little bit of light left, and I could just see just the black spot out there. And I was like, looks like a bear, something to shoot at, and shot at it 6 times, and it finally died.
That ended up being, what was it,
150 pounds in 13 years.
13 years old. I was wrong in the last podcast. I think I said in the last one it was 6.5, it's always 3/4 with bears. Deer are always in half, so it'd be 2.5-year-old, 3.5-year-old. Bears are always in 3/4 because they're born during hibernation. So it was 13? 13 and 3/4. So almost 14-year-old bear at 150 pounds. And that's where I think a lot of people get the misconception that a bear's got to be 250 to 300 pounds to be a mature bear. A mature bear can be 120 pounds and be 7, 8, 9 years old. And the biggest thing with it is not a lot of people hunt them up here, target specifically. You may have a guy go out on an opening day and sit in a swamp or sit on a big oak flat or a cherry flat and shoot one, every 5, 6 years, 7 years. But we're consistently killing, 2, 3 bears a year, 4 bears a year between our group, hunting them, targeting them specifically. That was your first one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Joe's killed 2?
Only one, yeah.
Only the one? Luke's killed a couple.
Yeah, Luke's killed 2, yeah.
2. I've killed 3 of them, I think 4, down at your guys' property. Joe's is by far the biggest one. Probably never hear him shut up about it either. Luke's have all been roughly about your size.
Yeah.
Did he get ages back on those ones?
No, I don't remember any of them if they did.
No, I can't even remember if Joe did. Joe did, though.
Yeah.
Well, how old was his big one?
I don't remember.
Don't remember. Question for him, I guess. But yeah, you come and ask for, and when you get back that time of year between soccer practice, it's already late enough in the day. You were just sneaking down to see if anything was out.
Yeah.
Happened to stumble into him.
Yeah.
Quick and easy. And the corn was cut, so you could drive right up to him, wasn't it? Or was the corn still standing?
No, the corn was still up.
I got you. You shot him down along the swamp?
Yeah.
Coming into the corn. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've sat there once. It was like the first year we hunted opening day and realized that a lot of people line up down that edge of the field, and we were like in between a whole bunch of crossfire, and I was like, yeah, no, we'll move. And I had put a tree stand up luckily on the other side, and that first year we targeted them was the first one I ever shot. That was 206 dressed. And I lost that one in my house fire, the mount. I lost the mount in the house fire. But it's been, thankful that they opened up that property to us to allow us to go down and chase the bears. I'd still hunt them even if I didn't have the corn, but it's kind of a cheat code. But it's also, you still hunt for them. They're not out there like people would think they are. When it starts to dwindle down later in the year, especially when it gets cut, the only year that it's been where it's cut and it's been crazy was that year that Kenzie was pregnant with Ryder, and we seen all of them down there.
Yeah, just a sow with cubs.
Yeah, it seems like they're the only ones that are comfortable enough to be out there after that fact. Unless you shoot, you might stumble into one like Luke did that year. I think when it was all cut was when he shot his, wasn't it? And that was later in the year too. That wasn't like during the bear season. That was just during regular rifle season.
Yeah, it was, because that was also after a soccer game.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. After they lost their playoff game, he went out back. And
that's what I thought. I had to vent a little sadness out. Like go down and shoot a bear. He'd probably rather been out there all afternoon than being at a soccer game though. But yeah, no. Bears. Between, like I said, this year the first year you've actually tagged along during duck season?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you've killed a couple bucks.
Yeah.
Oh, you got one this past season.
Yeah, and a big crotchhorn, and that was later in the season. There's snow on and stuff.
Was that down back?
Yeah.
Yeah. Night watch? Mm-hmm. At the Rock?
No.
Oh, no. Oh, not at Old Faithful, huh? We were talking about the Rock and Kenzie's podcast about where Joe shot his bear, where Kenzie and I sat that night when all the bears were there. We were just below it, so we could still see out in the field. That rock has probably had more shots fired off from in front of it than just about anywhere else on your property. Up until probably this year, now that you guys actually own a little more of the property, you can actually get up in, that rock was about 20, 30 yards off the property line. So it's about as far as you could tuck into the woods to get off of the cornfield on that section. So you could be in there shooting into the field, but now they can actually get up into the property. Were you shoot yours in the field, or was it?
Yeah, I was in the field because it came in a lot different way. It came from the little field and down in.
Oh, so it come in from off the backside.
Yeah, and I was sitting on the corner.
Right where Brandon shot his monster.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't give him hell about that. I'll have to get him in here. I've got more stories that probably shouldn't be told with that kid than that should be told. I'll tell it quick. I'll tell it. Like I said, we've been hunting down there. When they were too young to deer hunt, we deer hunted it. But as they got older, we were more relaxed. And I said, "No, let the boys deer hunt. We'll bear hunt, goose, deer, or not deer, Jesus, turkeys. But we take these guys turkey hunting regardless." But when they got older, I said, "Let them. That's their property. Let them deer hunt. You don't have to shoot everything off of this on them." But we were down there. Your dad had seen us, I think, at a basketball game or practice, and said Nick had missed a nice one in the backfield.
Yeah, and he said he could see the horns, and he was like probably about 500 yards away from
Yeah,
him.
yeah, who knows? But Brian had told, and when the fresh snow coming after the practice, we hurried up and zoomed down, got down there, was fresh snow, and Sully was with us. Sully sat down in the corner. I was at the rock, and Brandon went over to what you called the back field, and he sat. There's an old wooden stand over there. He sat underneath the wooden stand, and right as it was getting that last, 45 minutes of light, we heard a gunshot go off. And like I said, Brian is Ben's father, the landowner. He had said, "You guys need to come down and sit." Nick had missed a nice rack buck. And Brandon started hooting and hollering. I mean, losing his absolute mind. Sully took off. I took off. I was in way better shape than I am now. And we ran through probably a foot of snow. It was snowing like a son of a gun to get over to him. And that buck, and we got over, and he's losing his mind. We thought he shot a slammer. And he said, "Yeah," I hit that. I had a doe grunt call. I see a deer cross down on the far corner of the field. I hit that doe grunt, and he turned, come run right to me. I lay him base. I smashed him. And I said, "Well, where is he? I want to see him." I said, "Where is he? Where is he?" And he's always died. He died, just rolled up off the edge of the field. And we walked up, and it was a spike horn. That was like, I think we ended up using a doe tag to tag it because it wasn't even big enough. I think one side was just pushing legal size, but I think it was still under legal size for being, having to use the buck tag. But you guys have had a lot, between down at your guys' field and up to Grandpa Carl's Sugar Bush, you guys get into them pretty good every year, kill a couple nice ones. Mm-hmm. You got any cameras out this year so far? See any velvet growth or anything yet?
No, we don't have any cameras out right now.
No. I don't have any out either. I don't usually put them out. I might start working on food plots here soon, but I got 3 or 4 locations I want to do some mock scrapes. Get some cameras out here soon. Get some, I like watching the fawns grow up a little bit too, so I get them out a little earlier than a lot of people. But you got any that made it through the season that you're excited to see? I know Joe's didn't make it. That was a nice one.
Yeah, and I saw a nice rack buck. I missed the opening day, and hopefully he made it through.
The one that Joe shot, bigger or smaller?
No, it was a high rack buck.
No kidding. I know there's a lot of them that run around down there. You got about the only agriculture in that area. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot of it in that area, but you guys have a pretty prime source of property where, especially now that you can get up in the woods and get them a little sooner than when, you used to only have the field.
Yeah.
Now you can get up actually in the timber and get on them a little bit so that you're catching them before they get down into the field. You'll get those days where they're in the field early and boom, you get them, but a lot of times they hang up in the woods. The rut gets them big ones killed a little bit better out in them fields, but that's why I don't get. I got a little field at my house. I think one of the better stories is the landowner before us. He was a hunter, but his wife didn't like hunting, and she said their kitchen, when our house burnt down, their kitchen used to be able to look out across these fields. And her husband didn't want to hunt that morning or just got back from hunting or whatever. And she looked out and there was a 10-point chasing does all over this field out here in my back property. And she just sat there and drank coffee and never said nothing to her husband. He's like, "He's too lazy to be out in the woods. I wasn't going to say nothing to him. I just watched him run them does around for about 10 minutes. She said, to this day, he's passed away. I never told him about it a day in his life." But yeah, no, we did pretty good. Because you're young enough, we took you youth duck hunting when New York does a a Veterans Day, or not Veterans Day, but a Veterans, they combine it with the youth season. It's veterans and youth, and I think it's like a week or two before the regular season. And you guys have a nice creek that runs through your bottom property.
Yeah.
And the woodies just cruise it by the hundreds, thousands sometimes. When they have corn on the field, like that day after Ryder's birthday, when we goose hunted.
Oh, yeah. That was crazy.
Watching all those wood ducks fly around that field. It was too bad it wasn't duck season, but it was duck season. It was during the second split. It was late season goose and it was duck season. We killed only one of them, but
Yeah.
they were flying in like flocks of 100. 40 of them would lift off this. And we parked my truck, never even flushed any. Set the decoy spread, never flushed any ducks. We limited out, did a late season limit on probably one of my favorite goose hunts.
Yeah.
Perfect amount of wind, perfect direction, and literally shot maybe one extra time. It was like almost 100% shooting.
Yeah.
And got a limit of geese. Right there in that last little bit of light before the end of shooting light, the wood ducks come out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. And it was cooler than hell. And I didn't even know they were. All of a sudden, I heard gunshot. We drove down to get my truck because the geese were obviously done flying. We'd already limited out. We were getting ready to leave. And next thing I know, they're hooting and hollering on top of the hill, get back, get back. It was Joe. It wasn't even you. It was Joe was taking me down to my truck.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are they yelling about? And then we looked up in the sky, and the wood ducks it was unbelievable. But yeah, last year wasn't like that. They had beans on, but they still get the woodies that hang out, locals that hang out in the creek. And I think we killed probably 15, 20 birds. And, we only hunt a handful of mornings because it's deer season. And that's the main go-to. But every now and then you can, give up on it. If it's going to be not the greatest morning or the wind's off, I'll text our group chat, say, hey, I'm a duck hunt in the morning instead of deer hunt. Who's down for it? And Ben, pick me up. So, we killed a handful of them. He killed his first one. A beautiful Drake wood duck. And we dropped that off the taxidermist, like I said earlier, just waiting to get that back and go from there with that. This year, you got a whole bunch of duck hunting stuff for Christmas. So we're going to.
Yeah.
I told Ryder he wants to get back into it like crazy too. So if he wants to get into it and you're into it and I got enough guys that want to, we'll do what I used to do back when I had a dog. We'll scout and shoot ducks. We used to shoot some ducks. Wood ducks are fun, but once you start getting on some bigger lakes and killing mallards and getting into, even divers, even shooting mergansers can be a riot sometimes because they just decoy. But I just haven't done it much because I get so into deer season and being at camp and hanging out with everybody that I kind of, after losing my dog, I kind of just feathered out of duck hunting. But Ryder's like addicted to it now. And I got to buy decoys. I got to buy calls again. I got waders finally last year because I needed some for trapping anyways. But got enough spots where we can take the boat and everything and go. And there's enough of them around. I see they made some late season changes again. We're not down to one goose. We're back up to 3. So there's a lot more you can do late season now instead of just focusing on deer, where you can kind of break up the monotony of sitting in a tree or sitting against a tree and go do something different and enjoy something for a little bit longer in the afternoons. But are you looking forward to anything this season? Are you getting into ducks? And
Yeah, looking forward to it all, really.
Oh, yeah. No, can't. I don't want to even, you shoot traps so you get something to break up the monotony. I've been just working and starting this, and this has stressed me out trying to get episodes out. And like I was talking to Keegan the other day, he traveled and shot, and it seemed like what was the night they took Ryder and Joe's pictures? I told Keegan he was heading out to shoot. And do you travel, or do you just do
sometimes? Yeah.
Did you go the other night?
No, I didn't go to Beaver River.
Yeah, that's where it was. Christ almighty, the wind was like 40, 50 miles per hour. Keegan's like, yeah, he says it's going to drop my average probably pretty good tonight. He said them clay pigeons are going to probably come out and fly to the next county over. I've never done the clay pigeon shooting. I wish they'd have had it in high school. It probably would have introduced me into it a little better. But as much spare time as I have now, I probably wouldn't be able to do it hardly as much as you guys do it.
Yeah. One night we were over in Lowville, and me and Keegan were on the same squad, and we were both straight. Got to our last station, and he dropped 2 birds, and I ran him the rest of the way.
Yeah. How are you guys standing this year on that?
Oh, we're tied for number 1, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, versus who?
Snow fun.
Oh, so that would be like what? Great Ben, Teresa's team? Okay. That's cool. When's that go till?
Like, I don't really know.
It's not the youth season.
Youth is already over.
Oh, youth's already over. Have you already been to Mass?
Yeah, we've already been to states. That was up in...
When you go to Nationals?
July.
Oh, okay. I thought that was later in the summer. I always thought Keegan and them went later on. I thought that was still during school, but now that you say that, I do remember it was later in the year. Where's that at?
Michigan.
That's what I thought. I said Mass a second ago, didn't I? That's nowhere near each other. One would be this way, one would be that way. It wouldn't be. Don't ride with me if we're going to Nationals. I'd be going down to Quincy Market and seeing some street performers. I wouldn't be seeing any clay pigeons. Well, yeah, so Benny Boy wanted to be on. I was trying to figure out who to have a podcast with. The next one's going to be with Alex. We're going to try to figure out how to call over the phone. Figured I'd go over. Ben's a little free, so I figured I'd pick him up after work today. He's got to get his hair cut here in a minute bit. Little Joey boy is going to pick him up. I was trying to get Joe on, but he's being a peckerhead. But we'll get him on. We'll get all three boys on and get them raising hell and picking on each other.
Yeah.
They're like any brothers. They get bickering, fighting back and forth. It can be pretty entertaining. Keeps the goose blind alive every now and then anyways. But trying to think things to talk about. Trying to get
Turkey season. It didn't go very well.
Turkey season did not go very well. You missed one. You were with your brother open week or youth weekend.
Yeah, youth weekend. My brother took me out and we were in a ground blind and just way too far for me to shoot and missed.
Yeah. It was this is the first youth weekend I have missed, and like I said, your brother was 12, and I haven't missed a youth weekend. I missed the opening day of it last year because I was downstate, but I hunted Sundays with you. Yeah, that's so. However long ago that was. How old's your brother? 20. So
yeah,
that's 8 for him. 10, 12 years I haven't missed a youth weekend opener. Taking all you guys, and other people too. We've had some pretty good success over the year. My good buddy Owen Davis comes up. Usually helps on a Saturday. Then he'll scoot home and take out a kid that he's got down there. Because you actually killed yours with.
Yeah, I killed mine with Owen. Yeah.
While I was up on another property with another kid. So you missed that one opening weekend with your brother. Did you go out any time in between me taking you, or was that just... No. And so then I took him... I killed my bird. I killed both mine. And then got Caleb Mantle one. It was the day after Caleb's when I took you, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
And we set up on... Where'd we start? Your place.
Yeah, up on
and
the
that
ridge.
Bird just...
Yeah, it did not
disappeared.
Gobble. Yeah.
Gobbled once. And of all things that he gobbled to was a loon flying around your field.
Yeah.
There's no body of water big enough for a loon anywhere remotely close to their property. And when we got up on the ridge, he only gobbled, 3-4 times?
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful morning. It wasn't like it was windy. It wasn't like it was nasty out. It wasn't like rainy, gross. I mean, it was humid. We were sweating. But there was no reason. It was just a morning where the birds didn't want to gobble. And we got... So like I said, they own the property now. We never used to be able to sneak up in. We were limited to the field. But now that we can sneak up in, we got up in on the ridge where they're usually roosted, and he gobbled on, and he just left. We weren't even close to where he gobbled. We got up on there, and I'm thinking, if he's coming to the field, pretty good chance he's going to hang out on top of this ridge to get to the field. We'll be between him and the field. We'll have a pretty good shot. And we were up there for 40 minutes, hoping that maybe he was coming silent. I snuck away, tried to get I walked down the ridge to try to get a response out of him. Mm-hmm. We walked around, couldn't find anything. But the year before, I had taken Fuller there, and we were close to killing a bird. Ended up having a coyote blow it out, and we kind of chased after the bird, and we got up in on where your property line is. Back then, like I said, now you guys own it. I keep repeating that, but now you guys own it. And when we were walking the property line, we stumbled in I found one morel last year with Brandon.
Yeah.
But this year, when we were walking back, I was like, I almost didn't. I was like, what? I said, let's shoot over there on that ridge. see if we can find some. And Ryder was with us. Ryder and Ben found way more than I did. But I think we got like 25 or 26
there was
morels
quite a
off
few
that
of them.
hillside. So we sat there for a good 30, 40 minutes. And I mean, even in that time, we were quiet. And that bird never made a peep. There wasn't a bird. No, there was one bird when we were walking back.
Yeah, it was a
That
hen.
was a hen
Yeah.
that was out in the field. That was it. Usually there's birds all over. And so we gave up there, got the morels. Did we hunt anywhere else before dropping Ryder off, or did we leave right from there and drop Ryder off?
I don't think so.
No, I think we went straight home.
And then we dropped Ryder off. And then
Ryder was done. He didn't want to keep hunting. The bugs were getting bad. Then we went to a spot where I have been fighting with this bird all season. I'd get him to cross the road, get him out. He'd be in the road. Opening weekend, Owen Davis missed it at like 15 yards. Two toms came screaming in, but there was one tom that hung out, and like almost like clockwork every weekend. I could take somebody there, and I was like praying every time I went. I'm like, ugh. I mean, you'd show up and you'd sneak down in the woods. You just didn't even try to locate him. He'd get down in there, get set up, and he'd do something so off the walls different from the like. You'd think like, get in there, set up. This is how he came into the woods last time. He was too far away. This is how we'll set up, and we'll be right on him. Mm-hmm. And then the only time it's ever worked out of 3 years I've hunted this was Owen missing opening weekend. Every other time I've been there, and I went there 1 to 3 times a weekend to try to get this bird to work. And he'd work, just he did it differently every single time. And every single time he was either out of range. He'd walk right straight up and down the road waiting for us. He'd like try to get the hen to come to him. And, half the time he'd be 25 yards away. You're just not shooting in the road illegally.
Yeah.
You don't want to, shoot a car or have something. I mean, it's a dirt road. A lot of people probably would shoot it, but, I'm out here doing it, filming it, recording it. So I'm doing it 110% legal. I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble, let alone myself in trouble. And that bird did it completely different than he did the time before. He cut through into the woods, which last year was the hardest part to do, was to get him to actually cross the road. But he was like 80 yards.
Yeah.
Come in. I mean, he was on fire, though. I mean, spit. I mean, you can hear him spitting and drumming it, but it's all thick pines, super dark, actually. It'd be sunny out, and it'd be dark in there, how thick it is. And he's like 60, 70 yards away. Ben, I could see him a little bit.
Yeah, I could barely see him.
But, I mean, he'd answer every time I call, so you knew he was right there. I probably at one point he might have been 50, 55 yards. You just couldn't see him.
Yeah.
And eventually he walked, kind of, caught the hint, skittered back out to the road, and disappeared. And that was when we went, I think we checked a couple more spots on state land, and then we went down to the property where I killed my bird opening weekend. And I pulled around, I did a locator call, and nothing answered. And then I'm like, the whole field was filled with smoke. And I'm like, that's weird. And it's not real. It's kind of off the road, off the beaten path field. So I just told, we were running out of time too. It was like 10:45, 11 o'clock, somewhere in there. I said, we'll just drive down. Maybe we'll peek in the back corner. Sometimes they're around this little bend. You can't really see back in there from where we were trying to locate them. I was like, I also want to try to figure out why it's so smoky out here. And it stunk like a forest fire stinks. And as we were driving out, sure as shit, we crowned the corner, or the little knoll, come around the corner, and there's a tom sitting right there in the middle of the field. All by himself. No hens, nothing with him. And so I kind of just threw the truck in reverse, backed up. We dove into the woods, and this is on me. I should have had you sit a little closer to the field, but trying to get the footage over your shoulder and trying to get him coming in, I kind of had you a little too close to me. I should have got you ahead of me, but this bird came in like 40-ish yards. Calling to him, we backed out of the field. I thought maybe he'd be boogered off. Yeah. But he had actually calmed down, stayed in the field, and we gave him enough time. I think he calmed down enough to where it wouldn't bugger him. And we got up in and around him, close enough to him. When I called the first time, he wasn't that far away.
No.
And, you know, every time I call, he'd answer. And finally, I'm like, he's not going to come in here if I keep calling, so I just shut up. And within, I think my phone video, because I left my camera in the truck because it was drizzly, and I didn't want to ruin my phone or my camera. I think it was like a 7-minute clip where I filmed it on my phone. So it took him about 5 minutes for him to confidently start coming into the woods. And Ben, and it come in kind of left to right, right on the edge of where we were and where it was thick. And Ben let number 2 fly of that year. I think he hit him a little bit, but it wasn't enough to kill him. I had trail camera videos of him for 3-4 days after that. But he shot, and it was a little far. Or it wasn't that far, but it was enough brush and stuff. It could have deflected some of the BBs, but a lot of seasons left in our lives, and that shit happens. Next year, maybe talk mom and dad into putting a red dot and a big old turkey choke in there.
Yeah.
We'll just start shooting them at 100 yards across your field, like rifle hunting them. But yeah, that was Ben's turkey season. That one down there, but it is tricky when they come up into the timber like that, and that's why I think I love timber hunts like that, because they're hard to predict sometimes. Whereas a field is, you put your decoys out, they sprint into the decoys, or at least you can get them within 30, 40 yards and get a shot off. When you're in the woods, you never know what they're going to do. They could do something so astronomically ridiculous. I've had them walk 5 feet from me, coming from a direction where they weren't even gobbling. That's actually a video. I was hunting with your cousin. That was with Chris way back when I first started turkey hunting. I was roosted off out in front of us, kind of to the left where we were sitting. You know that trail we walked down on the way out?
Yeah.
I shot it on that trail, but he was roosted on the road where I parked the truck.
Okay, yeah.
And I figured he'd just work his way down the road and come into us. The last time he gobbled, he was out in front of us. And when he started coming in, he had gone to the field and walked back down that trail. And I was set up to shoot as he's coming down the road. And he walked. I was on a pine tree, and he walked from like me to you away. All I could hear was the walking in the leaves. And as close as he was, I was hoping Chris would get a shot because he'd never killed one. It was so close. It was behind a stump the whole time he was sitting there. I ended up shooting it, filming it, because I had the camera. I wanted to film him shoot it. He never had a shot, and then he started catching on to like, oh, this isn't where I shouldn't be here situation, so I ended up shooting it. But that field down there has been pretty successful for us. Another property I'm blessed to be able to hunt. Your property's been good, but your property can test some people's patience with those stupid turkeys.
Yeah.
You've got probably one of the highest coyote populations in the area. I swear to God that I even bear season, because I run trail cameras down there during bear season just for B-roll and some of the videos I do for bear season. And there was one video I had where I had 8 coyotes come through. There was just like a continuous trickle. One come through. Well, it was the same video, 15-second video on the camera, and 8 coyotes ran through. I don't know how many times that's been the reason the birds disappear.
Yeah.
You'll be sitting there and they're gobbling out in the field. Next thing you know, the turkeys will take off and start sprinting, and next thing you know, here's a coyote running across the field. I should get into calling them, but it's just another thing I'd have to spend money on and do.
Yeah.
As it doesn't sound like it's a bad thing, but I think my wife would kill me as much as I do actually do on the side. It's never ending. You guys should do it. Talk to mom and dad to get you some big old e-collar and long range rifles.
Thermals and
Exactly. Get some thermals. Then the deer would really be in trouble down there. But yeah, no, that was so you shot your bear in 24. Didn't kill one this year, which they had rotation. It was soybeans, which is always the bears disappear, but the deer show up. Mm-hmm. A lot heavier when the beans are on, which is probably nice for you guys. You guys prefer the deer over the bears.
Yeah.
But I prefer the bears over the deer. Like I said, you guys spoil me for letting me come down there and hunt them and stuff like that, and I'm super appreciative and thankful for being able to do it too. I'm hoping to get a couple down there this year anyways. Knock the population down a little bit.
Yep.
But yeah, that was 24 and 25. How old are you?
14.
Yeah, so 24 and 25, you'd be 14. So we can youth hunt this year for the Columbus Day weekend too, can't you?
Yeah.
That goes till 16, or is that it ends at 15?
Well, it ends at 16, but my birthday's in January, so I wouldn't be able to.
I gotcha. Yeah, so you'd be out of it anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha. So is this? No, you can still youth turkey hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So you're the end of it though. When you're done, you were the last Schrodt boy I took.
Yep.
Make me feel old, man. Making me feel old after all these years. I'm gonna have to find someone else to go. There's a lot of kids that are probably up and comers that are ready. A lot of property, a lot of birds. Couple properties I'm only allowed to take youth hunters on. But yeah, so there you go. That's Ben's 24 and 25 season. Little history of all the Schrodt boys.
Yeah.
Have to get the other two on. Tell some of their stories. Luke's old enough. He's got a lot more goofy stories in between there.
Yep.
Joe, he's old enough. He's got probably one of the most popular bears in New York that's ever been posted on Facebook. Whether you were a bear hunter or bear lover, they got attraction on both sides on that.
Yeah, so is his deer, too.
Yeah, he killed a nice deer this past season. Has he got it back?
No, not yet.
No, I didn't think so. We were talking about it the other night, but he didn't say anything. I knew it was at the taxidermist, but I didn't know if he'd gotten it back yet or not. So yeah, there's a nice little podcast to get you through the week. Nice, like I said, Alex is going to be on the next one, and then like I said, I'm going to make a status here, start getting more people in, now that I'm figuring it out, getting things going, getting things rolling, and a little more confidence built up on doing these things. Get some guests in. Here's some different things. I'd like to get my uncle on. He was a big mink farmer back in the 90s, 80s, 90s, big when the mink farms were going up here. There used to be a couple of them, but his was a pretty big one. I'd love to hear that side of things. You know, I got a lot of people that, you know, besides hunting, it don't have to be hunting. And that was what I premised in the first podcast, was I wanted this thing to be so expansive that it covered a whole lot of things. So we'll knock this thing out, and I appreciate you coming on, Ben, and at least getting me an episode out this week.
Yep.
Have you on? Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And have you on again when Joe decides to actually want to come on. I asked him if he was shy. No, I'm just going to see my girlfriend. Right? I'm too busy. So no, you're probably shy, aren't you? So get Luke on. He works out of town most of the time, so it'd have to be later in the week to get Lukey boy on. So no, hope you guys enjoyed. This is episode number 4. Yeah, episode number 4. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys, you know, I'm taking some, anyone listening, I'm taking volunteers that want to come on and visit and bullshit. So I'm finally opening that up after Kenzie's and learning a little more about the mics and the equipment and stuff. I will be taking some, you know, shoot me a message on Facebook under the business page, under the Explicit Outdoors page. I'm on Instagram. And also, I don't mind you reaching out, especially if you're friends. I don't mind you reaching out on my personal page, Bailey Clark. You'll see a picture of me. You can follow the Explicit Outdoors page back to my personal page, I believe, anyways. I mean, I share enough stuff from it. It's pretty easy to find me. So, yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is old Benny boy. He's a youngest Schrodt boy, and yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out a better outro than just saying thanks for watching. So, anyways, at least with this one, it's thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one.